you have to like do a little bit more than just applying to jobs. Everybody did internships and volunteer work in college. What is setting you aside from doing that?
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This is a little bit different than the usual content I make. I know you guys are usually used to seeing me do baseball content and posting shorts of that, and I do that pretty much every day, and I'm still going to be doing that and enjoying that, but I wanted to try out this full-length video to kind of just have a little bit more transparency and a like heart-to-heart talk about the job industry and how to navigate it as a post-grad who's still also looking for jobs. So I think it's a pretty popular topic to discuss, but it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Go ahead and give you guys 5 tips to do while you're waiting and applying for jobs in sports media. This can go for anybody who's trying to look for sports media jobs, whether you're in college right now, looking for internships or assistantships, or you are already graduated and looking for jobs and still wondering why you have your degree and all this experience yet no job offer coming your way. So here's the thing, I'm very much of a person who was on it when it came to looking for jobs in sports media. I did get an internship my last summer, junior year, summer before graduating, and I interned at CNN, and that was really fun. That was a really great experience. But after I graduated, I didn't have any job offers lined up, and I'm wondering, how come I'm doing all this work, I'm getting all this experience, all this time, all this volunteer experience, and applying to all these jobs back to back to back, and I didn't live it myself. I looked for jobs mostly in the sports field in my area in Atlanta, but I was still looking, like applying to any like sport, any company, any brand, all that great stuff, and I wasn't getting the results that I thought I was working hard for, and it felt really frustrating, especially since for me, I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn. Like I spent more time on LinkedIn than I was on Instagram and TikTok combined. So, and I had to kind of learn how to stay away from that. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So my first tip is to, first of all, realize that everybody's journey is different. So you can't look at someone else and compare yourself and be like, well, this person's doing it, surely I can do it, or this person's doing it and I'm not good enough because I didn't get to this position by this time, and she's a freshman and she got this position, or a sophomore got this position, I'm a senior and I didn't get this. Like everybody has their own connections, everybody has their own timing, everybody has their own pathway to get certain things in certain places, and just because you didn't get there yet or get there get exactly to where they are doesn't mean that you're a failure. And I definitely believe that what God has for you will not miss you as long as you stay focused and stay consistent with his timing. Like he finds a way to reroute you to where you need to be in his plan, and his plan is way bigger than our plan. I definitely think that there are people who try to force things to happen just because they see other people doing it and they want like a certain outlook, like, okay, I want to at least say I have a job. But it's like, you want to make sure it's something that you're proud of doing, something you're happy doing. Not to say that you can't take stepping stones to get to that point, but also like have a really good heart to heart with yourself to make sure that you're not doing something or stressing yourself out or feeling a certain type of way just because someone else is accomplishing something that you thought you should have been accomplishing, because it might be a whole different thing that is meant for you, but you're trying to make this thing happen. Don't be afraid to reach out and be like, hey, what are some advice? Like, I'm really proud of you, I think you're doing a great job, and be genuine about it. Don't be someone who's like, oh, I'm gonna tell her she's doing good, but I'm really just trying to reach out to her just so I can get her contacts. Like, I've had people do that to me, and I'm like, I know you're trying to, like, this whole time you haven't been speaking to me, the whole time you kind of like wave me to the side, but now all of a sudden you see something that I'm doing and now you want to reach out and be like, hey. You can kind of tell when people are being genuine about it. And I'm saying you have to be besties before you start asking them questions. You can just network and make connections in general, but like, don't be fake about it. But definitely make sure you're not comparing your path to someone else's, and also being genuine when making connections and staying on top of those connections, following up, all that great stuff. My second tip is to make sure you're not being idle with your time. So when I graduated and applied for jobs, I didn't get any interviews. All the jobs I applied to, even before my last semester even started, I wasn't getting any responses back, like any positive responses, saying that I got any jobs or any interviews. Like 6-month period of me applying to jobs, like I didn't get anything until I got a few interviews after I graduated, but it didn't result to any jobs. So it was very frustrating. I felt like, dang, like I should have just, I don't know what I'm going to be doing, like what's going on. Give yourself time to kind of step back. Again, like I said, sometimes I was on LinkedIn way more than I was on any other social media platform. And that could be a good thing as far as, I want to make sure I'm staying on top of job searches, I'm updating my resume, updating my portfolio. But then it also started turning into, okay, I'm comparing myself with this person. So it kind of goes back to part one, like, don't compare yourself with this person and kind of make yourself feel like you're less than or not good enough, you're not working hard enough. I need to do this and do that. I need to follow their exact same blueprint, because it's not like a one size fits all thing. Like, everybody has their own journey, and there's so many different jobs within the sports media industry that it could be many different ways to get to certain points. So don't be too hard on yourself with that. But also, don't be out of your time. Like, even if you're not getting these opportunities off the bat, go ahead and find a way to make your own brand. Take this time to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna apply the jobs. We'll see what happens. We'll see what picks up. We'll see who reaches out to me. I might send a few emails here and there. Like, no, actually use this time to cold email. Start looking up people, looking up company teams, and like just any jobs that you want to apply for. And even if they don't put out anything that say that they're hiring at that moment, go ahead and start reaching out to the coordinator, the director, the manager, the editor, whoever is like the head, the top person in that position. Go ahead and reach out to cold email them, LinkedIn message them. Go ahead and get that LinkedIn premium free trial. Like, that's cancel it months later. Like, that really helps out, because sometimes I'll be able to just email people, and a lot of the good responses that I was able to get was based off of me reaching out to those people. Also, I want to add that I don't have my full-time job yet. Like, I've been applying and still waiting as well. I'm still in this waiting season, but I have gotten some great opportunities and still in those opportunities now based off me just doing that. Like, I reach out to people, reach out to the certain editors or directors for certain things. Some people I got connected with previously before graduating, and I just follow back up with them. Have a new resume to show them, a new portfolio. So I'm actually freelancing, covering the Braves, and I used to freelance for this paper, covering just all kinds of sports feature news, and that helped out as well. So that's my third point. Be open to different opportunities, even if it doesn't look like what you kind of imagine. So I know we're all looking for that full-time job, but look also into freelancing and contracting, because here's the thing, a lot of people are being let go nowadays. I'm seeing a lot of people, just because of inflation, just because of cutbacks, a lot of people are being let go when it comes to like their jobs that seem so secure. Now, like, they're looking for jobs. So I feel like definitely, like, I'm still looking for full-time jobs as well. Don't close down the option of freelancing. So if you don't get an internship with a certain company or a fellowship or a job offer, like, sometimes they are looking for people to fill those positions in certain periodics of time. But also sometimes if you reach out to them and say, hey, I'm open for freelance, this is who I am, a cold email just saying who you are, what you do, where you graduated from, what you're interested in, what you can bring to the table. Here's my resume, here's my portfolio, and if you have a cover letter, here's my cover letter. All that in a not a whole essay, but like all that in a nutshell. And also saying you're open to freelance work and open to like any positions. Some people might give you a freelance job and you're working for them, even though you're not 100% under that company. You're working for them, but you're getting paid to do it. But you still have this opportunity to do your own thing, kind of going back to building your own brand. That's why I type 2 and 3 in the same tip. Just because you're freelancing doesn't mean you'll never get a full-time job or you're not looking into any more. Like, I'm freelancing, I'm still looking into other jobs because it's nice to freelance, and also look into multiple ones. Like, don't think that, oh, I just have to work for one freelance company. The good thing about freelancing is that it gives you flexibility to do other things. So I'm freelancing, but I also work for my dad's store. My dad has a vintage apparel store, and with that, not only am I a store associate and work with customer service, but I'm also working on the social media. I created a TikTok page, I created an Instagram page, and I started building that up and learning more social media skills. So when I applied to social media jobs within my field, I have experience doing so. So I'm doing that. I'm freelancing for 2 different companies. I'm looking for other jobs. So it's like, I'm not just sitting idle and being like, okay, well, I'm just applying, I'm just waiting. I've got an interview, we'll see what they say. Like, no, like, be like, get out there and just really start pushing yourself out. And then also building my own brand. I started a podcast that October, a few months after I graduated, because I felt like I wasn't doing anything. After a while, I took a break from applying to jobs because I felt burnt out. And I went and started a podcast to kind of just give athletes it's called the Athlete Section, go check it out. But I started that to kind of give athletes their own platform to tell their story, and I reached out to people across the nation, in different schools, different universities, different sports, and I did a cold email just explaining who I am, what this podcast is for, why I want them on there, and 9 times out of 10 they'll be like, sure, I want to go on it. I'm excited. I'm interested. Let's do it. After I started that, I had 2 to 4 guests every single week from October to April. And now I'm taking a break from doing it so I can kind of focus on other things within the job search and also like within my other brand on TikTok, YouTube as well. But I also want to make sure I bring a better version of my podcast forward when next time I start it. So next time I start it might be sometime later this year, but I want to make sure I have even more quality going into it, not just quantity. So I'm still going to be working on that, but that's another way to kind of build your brand. Start a podcast, use social media. That's tip 4. Use social media for what it's for. And you probably heard people say this all the time. Don't feel like, oh, I don't want to get myself out there. Even if you want to be a producer, even if you want to be a writer, you still can find ways to use social media to your advantage, whether it's starting a blog, whether it's tweeting out different things, like doing different threads on different games that you're trying to cover, like, and my thing is treating social media like it's already your job. Like, don't neglect the things that are paying you right now. If you're like having a part-time job, that's okay. If you have to like do something else outside of what you majored in or what you got your degree in, because that might be what's paying the bills right now. So don't neglect that, but also just keeping in mind that you'll have to like do a little bit more than just applying to jobs. Everybody's applying to jobs. Everybody's, putting application in. Everybody did internships, volunteer work in college. What is setting you aside from doing that? So once I realized that, I was like, okay, let me start my own thing. So I started a TikTok page, and I use patience, which would be my 5th tip, but through patience and just waiting and just also just being open-minded and intrigued and eager about my passion for sports media, I started figuring out the field that I really wanted to go in. Because at first it was just really broad, like anything sports media I was applying for. But once I started figuring out the field I really wanted to go in, I was able to key in on that and then start building my platform off of that. So now I have a whole baseball TikTok full of just like videos of things I've learning or will learn, and it's been fun. I've been making a video every single day since then, at least 1 to 3 videos every single day since then. It was like during spring training earlier this year. First, I didn't know what I wanted it to be. I just was making all kinds of like regular videos. I was trying to do other influencer stuff on TikTok, but once I keyed in on what I really wanted to do, once I kind of started falling into that, it became a lot more natural. So give yourself like time to use social media to your advantage. It can look like whatever you want it to look like. It doesn't have to look like, oh, I sit in front of a green screen and explain these stats to everybody. I sit in front of a camera and just talk about hot takes. Like, if that's not what you want to do, don't do it. Like, if you see someone else doing something, you're like, oh, that's a good idea, but I wouldn't do it. Don't do it. Just do something that you feel like is natural for you. And also make sure you stay in your own lane, because it's easy to like look at other creators and being like, oh, if they can do it, I'm gonna do the same thing and see if I can get the same opportunities. But it's not how it works. Like, whatever is grace for them is grace for them. Like, not saying you can't do anything similar, but I'm just saying that don't look at someone else and be like, well, their journey, this is how they got there. They got these opportunities by doing these videos, so let me go ahead and do it. Because people will be able to tell like what's natural and what's not. People will be able to tell what you're really passionate about. And then you'll also be able to tell after you feel like, okay, I'm doing this and it's kind of not resulting in anything. I feel like I'm kind of copying them. I feel like I'm kind of, just going through the motions. I don't think I want to do this anymore. Like, that's going to be the feeling of how it looks when you're not doing something that you're actually passionate about. You could be interested in opening trading cards. You could be interested in fun facts. You could be interested in the history of certain sports. You could be interested in, oh, live reactions. I'm watching this game. Here's my live reaction. Do whatever, or just tweeting out certain hot takes or opinions, or acting like you work for a certain organization and tweeting as if you were that organization. Like, there's a lot of facets of social media that you could tap into within sports media that companies want to see, because they want to see what are you bringing to the table that I can't just get from someone else who already works here, or getting from someone else who already graduated like last year, or just now graduating. And you can start off small. It doesn't have to be you building a logo and everything just yet, but start off with you just kind of building your presence up on social media with something that you truly like to do, you truly know you're good at, or you might find out what you're good at while you're doing it. Just go ahead and get started on it and be consistent with it. Last tip is one that sounds very cliche and very repetitive, but it's just to have patience through this journey, because it's something that I am always learning every single day. I don't feel like it's something that I always get. Like, I get it, and then I have to learn it in a new way the next day or the next week, because I feel like I will be happy where I am. I'll be happy with what I'm doing. And then I'll go back next week feeling like, okay, I didn't do enough. I haven't gotten to this level yet, and I should be here right now. But it's like, you're only putting a timeline on yourself. Like, God doesn't have a timeline. in a spiritual sense, if you're thinking about that, God doesn't have a timeline. He already has something already planned for you at the finish line. You just have to take steps to get there. He didn't tell you when you're going to get it, but he might have shown you a vision of what you want or passion or desire, but you just have to be patient through the process. And the job market, as we already said, is very fickle right now, very not the best at all. Not only are people having a hard time getting jobs, but people are having a hard time keeping jobs. And not because of their performance, just because companies can't afford to keep everybody after a certain amount of time. And that's just the way it is. But it just has to go with thinking outside the box. When I first got my first position freelancing, it was just a regular email on a rainy day in a car. I sent an email out to a connection that was sent to me by a former professor. I emailed this contact then and asked for like a certain position during that time, and he didn't have a position open. Literally like a year later, I remember that contact. I look him up and send out an email telling him what I'm doing, looking for jobs. I don't know if you remember me or not, but we'd love to connect and see if you have any opportunities open within this organization. He contacted back and said, yeah, I'll let you know. I'll, email us back like a few months later, and then we'll get you, introduced to this person and see if they have anything. Literally a week later, I was asking about my availability for the upcoming week because they needed some people to go ahead and cover this game. And I was available to do it. So anything could happen between now and you sending a quick little email, just in the car, sending off an email real quick, thinking that hopefully he responds back. And literally like a week later, that weekend, I was told, we're going to get you credentials because we need you to cover this game coming up. So anything can happen at any given time. And even after that, there were slow periods when I'm like, I feel like I had all this hype, all this excitement, and now I'm back to square one, not doing anything. But it's like, no, give yourself time. In this time, what are you doing in this time of waiting? What are you doing in this season of waiting and not hearing anything? You still need to be working. You still need to be pushing on as if you are working for a job. So when the opportunity comes, you'll be ready and geared up to go ahead and take part in that. Hopefully that helped out a little bit. If you do like videos like these, I might start making more, especially like going through this journey of also looking for sports media jobs and things that I've learned and am continuing to learn. But I do have this page mostly for like my baseball content, but whether you're interested in that or not, definitely subscribe and like and comment because it means a lot. I'm definitely trying to build a community on here as well as my TikTok. Go to itsby.mc, as you can see here somewhere. I'll post it on the screen because I'm trying to grow that as well. And I have a really fun time on there. I post pretty much every single day, multiple videos a day talking about the hottest baseball news, and I might start implementing other sports in there as well. And let me know if you guys have any questions or want any more tips or suggestions or story times or anything like that. I'm interested in seeing how that takes as well on this channel. So thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully these help.